Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Want to bring you all a little update on Bitcoin. Right now we're at $5,482. We're up 0.75%. And I wrote down a few things that I want to share with you. Right now we are just in an extreme fight between the bulls and the bears, guys. A lot of people aren't really understanding what's happening here. We are in this tight range and we could either break very hard to the upside or we could start heading down to the downside pretty quickly as well. And that's what, guys, when you see these candles getting smaller like that and you're seeing this fighting and these tweezer tops up here that were coming in where we were having some rejection, now you're having some wicks at the bottom where we're just fighting back and forth between the bulls and the bears. So really keep your eye out on this. We're going to set some alarms, going to look at some different things here. So if you like what we do here, guys, I'd appreciate it if you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate each and every one of you being here with me. So we'll dig into this. What I wanted to mention to you as well, down here on the RSI, I changed my settings. It's no longer these white lines down here. They're no longer at 70 and 30. I changed them to 20 and 80. And the reason I did that is just due to the volatility in the cryptocurrency market. And the more that I started to look at things, oversold areas and, overbought areas, that type of thing, I really thought the 80 and the 20 would do an even better job just because of how extreme we can get in this market. It's not like a traditional stock market where it's 70 and 30. Over 70, you'll always almost see that sell-off take place. And in the cryptocurrency market, it went as high as the last time, guys, when we really spiked up the all-time high to 20,000. We were up around 96 or 97. So that's huge on the RSI. I mean, that's crazy that people, even into 85, 86, 87 are still pushing money into that for that blow off top. But that's cryptocurrency, and that's why we're here. It's very exciting to the upside and to the downside. And it's great if you can trade, guys. It doesn't matter if it goes up or goes down, as long as you have some volatility. That's what you're looking for, and that's what I'm looking for. So guys, we're going to dig into this and let's do it. So overall, this red line that I have here, this, guys, is my overhead resistance, what we must get up against. You can see we tweezer topped up to it twice here, pretty close to it. This second candle here is maybe a hair short, but it's pretty close to those tweezer tops right there. And it also coincides with where this shooting star candle was, or inverted hammer, I guess we would say, because it was at a downtrend here. So we were downtrending and then we tried to pop back up again, guys. And if this isn't an uptrend, that's basically a shooting star. And this, we were moving sideways, so probably what we would actually call it is like invalid. And what they were saying is, in my book, Encyclopedia Chart Patterns, I was reading it yesterday, and they were talking about these candles. So if you have an inverted hammer candle, or if you have a hanging man candle or a hammer candle, any of these, but you're moving sideways, it's not really significant. It's not like after a huge downtrend when you put in a massive hammer on some serious volume, then you have some follow through. So it's just a little different in those types of ways. So guys, what here, we just had this little sideways movement. We tried to push up. The bulls tried to push up. We got rejected by the bears, and that was at 56.77. So that's an area we're going to have to get up over. But what I am liking to see here, like we said, this range is so tight, we tried to push up. And now what we would want to see, guys, is some consolidation on top of this right here. So if we actually move sideways for a couple days, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then had another move to the upside, that's definitely in the cards here. Just like this happened over here. Do you see how we had this big fall, and then we had 3 or 4 days here we move sideways, then another huge fall? That's the same thing that could happen, where we could consolidate and then make a tough move up to the upside on heavy volume to get over that 56.77. And there, guys, we could run up to around that 6,000. I'd expect us to get to 6,000 or even maybe up around that 6,500, right in that range. And that's to the upside if we do have the good volume that steps in to the upside. Guys, we are a little overextended. Remember, traditional market's 70 and over. Right now we're at 70, but that doesn't mean we couldn't even push up higher than that. We've seen it back here. I mean, look, this last move we got up to 89, I'm sorry, over here. We got up to around that 82, 83. So, guys, it can really get overextended there. We could definitely run for another 10 to 15% on the RSI. So have your targets ready. I'm setting my alarms, guys, at that 56.77. So I'll set alarms right there. And if we start to break to that upside, that's when you would want to buy, because over here we just had this straight shot down. So it can definitely be made up on the upside there. Whenever you drop hard, you can make it up on the upside and vice versa. So remember that. Also with that, we have the golden cross that has been taking place right here, guys. We've been up above the 100 moving average. We're up above the 200 moving average. And right here, what I did, I changed. I typically use the 20 EMA, but I wanted to look at the 30 EMA today as well. And guys, we've just been holding this as support now all the way back till about the 17th or 15th of February there. And right here, you've seen we kind of gapped away from it. And a lot of times you'll pull back onto it. Even here, you see how we caught some air here and we pulled back onto it. Even here, guys, you can catch some air and then you kind of pull back to it. Right now, we're away from it. So that's what basically the first area I would look is really strong support would be around that 30 EMA there. And that's going to be at $4,997. And that's also around that $5,000 psychological, to where if we fell down to that area and we consolidated on it, that would be extremely healthy. Guys, I would be happy truly consolidating. Let me see here. Let me get my rectangle out. If we had a fall back to this area, let me put it right around in here. Right here. Okay, between the 200 moving average, which I would love to back test at some point. I believe we will back test it at some point. Let me pull this down. And all these tops over here where we kept pushing up, then we got pushed down, we tried up again. What we would love is to consolidate on top of that, guys, set a beautiful higher low there, and then continue the move to the upside. If we came down even to that 200-day moving average and we saw volume like this off it, guys, it's game on. We're in the bull market fully for sure. Let's roll. And that's why, you know, I still struggle with this, to where we broke through this 200-day moving average with a $1,000 candle. And that's just not, I mean, guys, it's not healthy. It's not healthy for that to happen, or to the downside when you fall this hard to the downside. And that's why you always have those reactions. And that's kind of what we're waiting for right now. And along the line, you know, even if it takes a while, the 200 could even start swooping up here. And then at some point we pull back onto it. But I believe we need to back test it since we just kind of blew through it. But that's just me, guys. But all the way down into this area, you know, around that, let's see, 4,400, 4,500, we get a bounce off that, we're great. I believe it'd be healthier for Bitcoin than making another overextended move here, trying to get through the most resistance that we've had in Bitcoin history. And I was going back through the charts, guys. I mean, this has been such, this will be such overhead resistance. We hit around 6,000 here, we hit it here, 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 and this basically we just fell. It was this descending triangle, and we fell and we broke down 50%. So, you know, when I step back and look at this, I say, all right, so in this area, if we consolidate for a while, we'll make another shot up at this whole bit of chunk here. We just have a huge bit of chunk here, but we'll go from where the break happened around that $6,500, $6,400 range, a shot up to that while we're a little overextended or whatnot. Or if we're going to have that pullback. But we're seeing mixed signals. We're seeing bullish things. We're seeing bearish things. That's where I said the fight is just there. The fight is there. Look here. So we're at 70. We're overbought. But look at the higher lows on the RSI. You know I love to draw trend lines and whatnot, or support lines on the RSI, treated just like a line graph. And we're holding those higher lows right now. So who knows? We could maybe have a slight pullback, guys. Bounce off this RSI and try again to even get up here and make another strong move before we have a nice sell-off. So, you know, I'm looking at that. Next thing I wanted to show you was the Fibonacci. I wanted to get a few things out there to you. Let me get a few things out of the way here. All right, guys. So obviously, now that we're just stepping back here and we're seeing this take place, what we were seeing, though, did you see how it was just like an overhead river, guys? All these moving averages were overhead. They were over top, and they were just pressing the price down. Every time we hit them, we'd get pressed back down. But you see, the beautiful thing that's happening here is that transition to where now we're up above all four of these, the 30 EMA, the 50 moving average, the 100, and the 200. So, you know, my advice to you is don't chase anything, but also, you know, say you've never invested in Bitcoin or whatnot. Around this $5,000, guys, this is, we've retraced from $20,000. We're close to the bottom. If we haven't already bottomed or whatnot, we're close to the bottom. We're around the bottom. This is the thing that all the books that I read, all these investor books, they say you're most likely never going to sell the top. You're most likely never going to buy the bottom. But if you're around that area, you're going to do amazing. So, you know, if you're buying down around in this area, guys, or even where we're at right now, take a look at these gains that can happen. Say we go back to all-time highs, which I believe we will at some point. We absolutely will test this, guys, in the next full market cycle that takes place. But look at our price range here, and look what's possible. Say you buy here as a long-term investment, and you end up even selling out at the next top. That's 259%, guys. You don't see that in traditional markets. That's a big deal. Traditional markets, it moves 15% in a year. Some people are getting, you know, throwing parties and getting all excited. And this market, you can move 20% in a day. And that's why we're here. We're here for that volatility. You know, but we have to also keep our eye on things. If we're traders, you know, we want to wait for good opportunities. Long-term investing and trading is completely different. It's just a different beast, and there's beauty to both, and I believe you should do both. But guys, I want to point out the volume here too. We are still declining on the volume, and what you do on these, I like to do at least, I'll draw a little rough trend line here. We'll see that, and we'll wait to see if we have any volume that breaks out of that trend line. Next thing I wanted to look at was the MACD. Take a look at that. We're just going to look at a few indicators, and then the Fibonacci, guys. I'll get back to that 1 second. So on the MACD, we had that bearish cross. It looks like we tried to come back up and get over the signal line, but we fell again. Now we're just kind of working parallel with it. And down here on the histogram, we're just a little bit more neutral now. We're obviously in the negative, but we're moving towards that more neutral and moving sideways. So, take a look at that. And then let's see on the Bollinger Band, see how those are looking now that we've had a little bit more time with this move that's taken place. And it was a beautiful move, guys. $1,000, that's awesome. All right, so Bollinger Bands are getting a little bit tighter. We're still at the upper end of the band there, so you can see this. See how we kind of tweezer topped out of these bands as well, and then we have the middle band there that we'd look for as support, and that's going to be around 52.44. Hey guys, and then the last one I want to do with you before the Fibonacci is the stochastic RSI. And you can see how we're just getting all these type of different mixed signals. I mean, it truly can go any way at this point, guys. Anyone who says, I'm for sure knowing it's going to go up or I'm for sure knowing go down, you can't tell. Okay, right now we're in that tight range. We're in a huge fight, and I can't determine when, Mr. Lee from Japan's going to put in however many millions of dollars that he's going to put in to move this market. He's a market maker. I'm not a market maker. I have to ride their coattails. You have to ride their coattails. Most likely you're not a market maker either. And that's what we have to do. We have to react to them. So a whale could step in right now, push us to the upside. A whale could step in, sell off, and we're moving to the downside, and we're looking to see if we find some support on this 30 EMA. But that's just me. I'm trying to ride their coattails. You have to respond and react to them, and that's trading. So anyone who says, I know for sure we're going up or I know for sure we're going down, no, you put the odds in your favor. You have good risk reward, and that's how you do it. Every trader is going to make mistakes. You're going to lose at least, if you're a great trader, even 40% of your trades. It's about cutting them as soon as they're losers. Cut them, have your stop losses, whatnot in place, move on to the next one. Write it down, learn from it, go to the next one. That's what it's about, guys. So just be careful out there. I know when this bull market is really underway and stuff, there's going to be some people out there who just want to say, this is going to the moon, or buy this shit coin, crap coin, whatever, guys. And you don't want to listen to them. Remember the ICO craze and all that? Some of those ICOs are completely gone now, and people invested tens of thousands of dollars in them. So just be very careful, all right? Even to me, don't take what I put out there as, the gospel. Do your own research. Do your due diligence and dig into this stuff. So that's what I just had to get out there for you guys. Just be very careful, okay? Be very careful. I care about you. So right here, guys, on the stochastic RSI, we did have that cross to the upside. You can see we were moving there. We came back down, tested the signal line there, kept moving to the upside there, and we're just moving right now. That's looking good. I mean, we're at 58, we're at 50, we're pointing up, so that's a bear or a bullish thing. That's why I said we're just throwing so many mixed indicators here. All right, and with the Fibonacci, guys, what we want to do here, we're going to do it in a few different ways. So first I'm going to take this fib from our low to our high there. And guys, what we'd look for also around that 30 would be that 0.236 to see if we get a bounce off that. So that's to the downside there. And then the other way that I'm going to do the Fibonacci, which I like to do as well, and it looks like we're above that 0.618 we've been paying close attention to. So we'll take our fib from this high here before this big drop. This is just rough here, guys. We'll bring it down to here. You can see we got through that 0.618. We had a few closes above it, and then we made that move to the upside now. So the next overhead resistance would be at that 0.786, and that's at $5,826. So we would have to get up above that as well. All right. So guys, those are the things that I'm looking for on the Fibonacci right now. Things that I'm paying attention to, and just remember, my upside targets are around that 56.77 to see if we can break through that, get over that, and then support would be around that $4,996. But there's a lot of bullish things happening too. We have that golden cross, that 50 over the 200, which read about that in textbook, guys. That's beautiful. It's a thing of beauty. And then you'll have that death cross when you're having that 50 crossing over that 200, which pushes us down. And speaking of that, let me look at this to see when we could identify it here. on this downtrend. So we knew exactly when to get out. So our 50's in blue here, guys. And we crossed down over that 200. We had that cross at around $10,000, like $9,500. And once we had that cross, that was it. We just kept getting pushed back down. So, you know, this is a big cross, or this was a big cross, and this is a big cross here, but this is just the beginning. We could go here and kind of back test it and roll around. So, you know, it's important, but it's not everything. Remember that. So, guys, if you like what we do here, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. These are the things that I'm looking at, paying attention to. And you know what? I'm not here to rub the crystal ball for you. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen next, but I have my plans. I have my targets, and that's what you should do as well. Have your plan ready. Take care, my friends. God bless.